You see, back in the 1890s and 1900s, film studies were very silent films. No talking, not a lot of emotion, not a lot of actions. Film distribution business can date back earliest to the 1890s. The earliest history can be traced back to the first kinetoscope parlor that was opened at 1155 Broadway, New York City, April 14th in 1894. It was owned by the Holland brothers, who were licensed by the Kinetoscope Company to distribute kinetoscopes and kinetoscope films in New York. Edison had made an invention, and he set out to distribute this company and others. He had serious competition from other companies that sold their own kinetoscope, and kinetoscope movies around the most prominent were the American Mutoscope Company, which is an international film company in New York. Although film had just been starting out and beginning to grow, the competition was fierce, and this competition brought out the best in every independent individual. So, since I've already got you wondering about some more information about the 1890-1900 film studies, I've made a short timeline of some important dates and how things went down. And Thomas Edison's employee in 1891, William K.L. Dickinson, finished his work on a motion picture camera and a viewing machine called the kinetoscope. And May 20th of 1891, Thomas Edison holds the first public presentation of his kinetoscope for the National Federation of Women's Club. In August 24th of 1891, Thomas Edison files for a patent for the kinetoscope. In 1892, in France, Charles Emile Reynaud began to have public screenings in Paris at the theater. Optique, with hundreds of drawings on a reel that, with his gatherings, it made a zeotrope projector to construct moving images that continue for up to about 15 minutes. In March 14th of 1983, Thomas Edison granted the patent number 493,426 for an apparatus for exhibiting photographs of moving objects. In 1893, Thomas Edison builds a motion picture studio near his laboratory, dubbed the Black Maria by his staff. I know I'm probably starting to sound boring to you, but I have a few more important dates that I think are really important to the early film world. In April 14th, 1894, the first commercial presentation of the kinetoscope took place in the Holland brothers' kinetoscope parlor. Also in 1894, the kinetoscope viewing parlors began to open in major cities all over the world. In December 1895 in France, Auguste and Louise Lumiere hold their first public screening of films with their shot of the cinematograph. In January 1896, in Britain, Burt Akers and Robert W. Paul developed their own film projector, the theatergraph, later known as the animatorgraph. Also in January 1896, the United States, a projector called the Vitascope was designed by Charles Francis Jenkins and Thomas Arment. Arment began working with Thomas Edison to manufacture the Vitascope, or projected motion pictures. Also in 1896, French magician and filmmaker Georges Méliès begins experimenting with the new motion picture technology, developing a lot of early special effects techniques, including stop motion photography. In 1897, a tragedy happened. A total of 125 people died during a film screening at the Charity Bazaar in Paris after the curtain caught on fire from the ether that they used to fuel the projector lamp. And in 1899, the Pathé Ferris was founded. I know that was a lot of dates and times, but for the film world, these are important starting from the beginning to the end. And film studies is something that a lot of people aren't into. It can be boring to some people, but if you really look into it, it's a very interesting and learning experience, and I hope this video helped.